Hi, this is Alex Hicken, the world news blogger of readthestoryoftheworld.blogspot.com, and I'm reporting today on the 26th of October 2012. And there's many things I want to speak on today, so I want to start. There were many notable individuals that have faced important things, and I want to speak of those things before I talk about a few other things. I'll start with this governor the governor of Tokyo, Japan. He has quit. I will attempt to say his name, but wrong. Probably. His name is Ishara. And he quit to form a new national party. And I thought that was interesting because Netanyahu of Israel, just before he's trying to be reelected, he united his party to make another national party with another party. So that's another person I wanted to speak about. And the former Prime Minister of Italy has faced trial today, and he's been sentenced to 4 years in jail for fraud. I'm surprised that I did not remember this before, but Italy has been dealing with this guy's, I don't know how to spell his name, how to say his name very well either. His name is Berlusconi, and he's been as a prime minister for a very long time, making the government of Italy very disgraceful. And this past year has been awesome to see how he stepped down, and now Italy has better leaders and in his government. But now he's going to jail. Although I heard that he still has a couple other appeals that he could do before he goes to jail. But he should be going to jail. A couple people faced accidents today. A governor of Nigeria suffers injuries in a plane crash. And the Senate Majority Leader, Harry Reid, has suffered a car crash in Las Vegas, and he's in the hospital now with minor injuries. I don't know if it was actually an accident or if it was on purpose. There's another car accident with the opposition leader in Cuba, and it seemed to be on purpose. And a few days ago I was surprised that they sentenced this guy for killing the opposition leader in Cuba. They arrested him and sent him to jail, and it seemed to be a foreign guy. And I was thinking that was interesting because probably the Cuban government hired this guy to take out the opposition leader, and now they're just putting the guy into jail. So I felt that was weird. Talking about assassinations, an Exxon executive was assassinated today in Belgium. Another person that has resigned in an Asian country is this 80-year-old parliament member, Krishna, in India. And it seemed to be just before the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was about to make some changes in the parliament to switch some people around and shuffle up the parliament members. So he's probably he may be trying to avoid corruption there. And I think that is pretty honorable of him. I always hear of people trying to form political parties in India so they could fix the corruption in the government there. One person that has been expelled from their political position because of their corruption is this Chinese guy named Bo Xiaolei. And today that happened. It was Friday in China. Another thing that happened, okay, that's done with talking about individual people. Other than, I forgot to talk about this this Russian guy. The left-wing opposition leader, Sergei Udavtsov, was arrested and charged with plotting some weird things. I don't. It says here a mass disorder, but I saw another thing and it said something different, so I don't know exactly. But it's probably the corruption of Putin trying to get rid of opposition. Okay, now that's done with talking about the individual people. Now I want to talk about the other things that's going on in the world that are pretty big. In the Euro crisis, Spain is enduring a 25% employment rate now, and that's very high. 1 in every 4 people that should be working cannot find a job. That's really crazy. Second thing that I want to talk about is a hurricane named Sandy. She has been killing many people. So far they counted up to 41 people. And it's crazy because the hurricane went through Jamaica, then it went through the Bahamas, and it hit Cuba, and now it's heading to the United States. Number 3, since I read at the start of the world, I don't cover just current events. I talk about what people endure day to day. Like, there's infrastructure problems in these big countries like India and Brazil. And Brazil is suffering a massive blackout, and 53 million people are in the dark without power because of the infrastructure. And a few months ago, India did the exact same thing, and they suffered without power for many days. And the fourth and last thing is I want to talk about Syria. Somehow, or for some reason, they pushed for this ceasefire over the holidays so they could quit the battle, the civil war. For 4 days, they wanted to stop fighting over this holiday. And I thought it was odd because the civil war, I don't think it makes sense for it to stop just for a holiday. And I didn't understand the purpose. Because there's no trust between these two parties, two companies. And Assad, with his tactics and ways, he always just blows over everything. He doesn't seem to have any honor. And yeah, he did honor the ceasefire, but the rebels, according to what he claimed, the rebels were doing the usual thing. And I expected that because in this ceasefire, they're probably plotting to figure out how they could have the upper hand in this civil war. So, I don't know. Well, that's my report today. Sorry it's so long. I hope it makes sense and you enjoy it. Thank you. Have a good night.